Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hopefully everyone can hear me all okay. If I could just get some messages in the chat before I continue. Is everyone all okay to hear me? What's up? Can you hear me? Hopefully everything is all good. Maybe a couple of technical issues first thing in the morning. It is currently 6:58 in the UK and it's very early in the morning for me. Good morning. I think people can hear me. We've got currently 225 people watching on this, the second day of the official preseason test. It is just about to get underway. My name is Alex from the channel Alex Does F1 Stuff, and I'll be your commentator for the majority of today. I'll be covering about an hour or so in the morning, and then I'll be coming back for the majority of the afternoon session. Now, if you guys have any questions whatsoever regarding this session or anything that's going on, then please do let me know, as I will do my best to answer those. Oh, awesome. People can hear me. Excellent stuff. Glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. If you'd like to support the stream, then please hit the subscribe button down below to the Racing Statistics channel. Hit the like button as well. And also please do share as much as you can, as it really does help us get out there and get a couple more people watching. Oh, it's almost green light time. We're currently looking at Ted at the minute. And a new lady, I don't recognize her. Still a red light at the minute, hasn't yet started. But good morning, everybody, and welcome to the stream. 263 people watching at the minute. ASMR guy, am I really that? Am I really like that? I hope not. Oh, as green light, we've got a car going out. I missed who that was. I was looking at the comments. I missed the one car that's gone out on track. As you have a McLaren going out, I believe McLaren have got Lando Norris running again, because I'm not sure if Daniel Ricciardo is still ill. Although I may be wrong on that already. As a Red Bull goes out, quite a lot of cars on track at the moment. Oh, why is everyone talking about ASMR in the chat at the moment? What's going on here? What's going on? It's Lando Norris that's in the car still. Lando Norris in the car. Now, what are people expecting from today's session? Do we think we're actually going to have a couple more fast laps come in? As we didn't really have too many yesterday. There weren't that many yesterday at all. We had Pierre Gasly setting a quick lap near the end. Let me just pull up what the actual time was. 1 second, I can't quite remember. Where are we looking? Schedule, Bahrain, testing report. So Gasly did a 1:33.9 yesterday, 4.5 tenths quicker than Carlos Sainz in the Ferrari. Now, what was this testing time, or not testing time, qualifying time of Bahrain last year? What was that? So we can have a little compare to see how slow we are as of last year. Bahrain 2021 qualifying. Oof, a 1:28.9. Okay, so we're still about 5 seconds down off of last year, but we'll see if we get any quicker today than a 1:33.5. We've currently got the Alfa Romeo out as well. It looks like Valtteri Bottas. It is Valtteri Bottas. He's got some aero brakes on the rear of his car. That livery is really nice. That livery is really nice on the Alfa Romeo. I do quite like that. And hopefully it's quick. But Alfa Romeo have usually been quite quick in testing, as if you look back at the 2020 tests, they were P4, P5 for the majority of the time, especially with Raikkonen, that they were really quick in testing, but then they dropped off quite significantly when it actually came to round number 1 and when the season started. Oh, as we've got George Russell in the brand new side podless Mercedes going out. What's everyone's thoughts on that? Everyone's thoughts on the new side podless or nearly side podless Mercedes. It looks really impressive. Like it is a genuine proper feat of engineering that they've managed to get away with that. We'll have to see if there's any overheating issues and such. Where can I watch the live stream? It is dependent on where you live. So if you live in the UK, you can only watch it on Sky because Sky have a monopoly of it. If you're anywhere else in the world, it'll be on F1 TV. Or I'm sure there are some funny websites that you can go and watch it. But we won't be linking any of those in this chat. As we're currently on board with Max Verstappen at the moment. It doesn't look like he's pushing all that hard. Currently 1:25 heading into the last corner, so it's not going to be a super quick lap for Max Verstappen. He's probably loaded with fuel, going to do some race runs. And I can't quite tell what tyre he's on. Never mind, just an installation lap. He's coming into the pits. I'd imagine a lot of the action is going to ramp up nearer the afternoon session, hence why I'm only going to do an hour this morning and then come back for a lot of the time. Oh, that's a lot of tape on the Red Bull. Red Bull do like their tape everywhere. I know their car was crying yesterday. So they had a lot of water leaking out of the little seams yesterday, but they put a whole bunch of silver tape all over that car. That's interesting. I know also Mercedes were trying that as well. There's a picture floating around I saw on Reddit, I believe, of Mercedes popping a big area of tape over their first cooling louvres that they've got on their no longer side pod. So that's interesting that they're covering up their cooling aspects. They're probably seeing how much the car can overheat and how quickly it can overheat if they take them off. As I imagine having louvres in the car isn't the most aerodynamically efficient thing on the planet. But yeah, they put some tape over it, and that tape actually did end up flapping off, and it sort of made a bit of a mess. The tape fell off, but people sort of believed the car was melting, is what the quote was, but that wasn't the case. It was simply the tape just flapping off. Can I watch the testing? And if so, where can I watch the testing? You can indeed. It is on F1 TV in pretty much every country other than the UK because Sky have the monopoly here. Or I'm sure you can find a funny website to go and watch it on, but we won't be linking any of said funny websites in this chat. So what is George Russell up to at the moment in his Mercedes? Currently running around. Again, got aero brakes on the rear of his car. Hopefully they don't break like the Aston Martin ones yesterday. I can imagine they're quite expensive, filled with all those pitot tubes. I imagine the engineers get quite nervy when they start pounding around some lap times. I'd imagine there's sort of like a minimum speed almost that you can go around with the aero brakes on. So the only time, or we've got two times actually on the board at the moment, a 1:38.5 from Lando Norris and then a 1:40.2 for Yuki Tsunoda. But bear in mind, we're only 7 minutes into the first morning of this session so far. As we've just passed 400 people watching this stream, welcome to anyone that is new. My name is Alex from the channel Alex Does F1 Stuff, and I'll be your commentator for the majority of today, this being the second day of the official preseason test at the Bahrain circuit. If you'd like to support the channel and support the live stream, then please hit the subscribe button down below and also like and share the stream too. If you have any questions whatsoever regarding the session and anything that is going on, then let me know in the comments and the live chat, and I will do my best to answer them with the limited knowledge that I have for this sport. Oh, I wonder when Aston Martin are actually going to get out. We're just looking at a picture of Sebastian Vettel currently sat on the pit wall, as they've had some issues. They've had some issues, haven't they, Aston Martin? The car doesn't look overly happy, and it doesn't look overly quick either, which is a bit disappointing. I thought they may have taken a step up, but it doesn't seem to have happened this year. But at least, as of yet, it hasn't quite happened. Comment about Pietro. I think it's a bit unfortunate that he didn't get the full-time race seat, and it went to Kevin Magnussen instead. But equally, as Gene Haas, I think it was quoted as saying, he's the test driver. He's not their reserve driver, I don't think. So what he's done now, filling in for the missing driver, that's exactly what he's supposed to do, fill in for anyone that's not there, but he's not their full-time reserve driver, I don't think. I think he is only their test driver. So I think it's good. I sort of lost my train of thought with that one. But yeah, I'm happy that Kevin Magnussen is back and in the sport again, but I think it's also good that Fittipaldi didn't get the seat. There you go. There's a follow-up question there. Would Fittipaldi have had a good season at Haas? Personally, no, I don't think so. And it definitely wouldn't be better than Kevin Magnussen, personally. And especially as we've got such a problem with the junior formulas and there not being enough seats to get these new youngsters in, Fittipaldi definitely isn't at the top of that youngsters pile. So it would be a massive shame to have him put in a full-time seat as opposed to anyone else that's currently stuck in the junior formulas at the minute. Oh, good day, Alex. How are you? And also love this K-Mag pick. Good morning, good morning. I'm very good, just a little bit tired. It's currently 7:10 here in the UK. Bright and early for me here. Going to be covering the first hour or so of this testing morning and then coming back in the afternoon once I've woken up a little bit and cleared this sort of morning voice that I can feel right now. It's a little bit deeper than usual. But yeah, very good morning so far as we're currently looking at George Russell pounding around the circuit with his aero rakes on. He's currently running in the low 1 minute 40s, so we're nowhere near putting in any quick lap times, but they're just trying to understand the car a little bit better. I'd imagine Mercedes are going to try and do something a little bit different with their setups because they were suffering from a lot of porpoising, along with other teams. Every team is still suffering with the porpoising issue, especially AlphaTauri as well, if you saw the clip of Pierre Gasly's head bouncing up and down. But the Mercedes was it was starting sooner and lasting for longer than everybody. So hopefully, if they can change around stuff with the setup and try and do that today, they can lessen the porpoising effect. But we are just over 10 minutes into day number 2 in the morning session, with 3 hours and 49 minutes still to go. Just 3 lap times on the board at the minute, and none of them remotely competitive. Good evening from Hawaii. I would like it to be the evening. I'd very much like it to be the evening. I'm not too much of a morning person, especially 7 o'clock in the morning. A little bit later, yes, but not quite this early. Oh, what do you think of Mercedes side pods? Now, Mercedes side pods are interesting. I really, really like the engineering feat and the fact they are pushing the boundaries so much like this. It's like DAS all over again. That intrigue and everything around the car is so cool to see. But I just don't know how effective they're going to be. Because you think, how are they going to properly cool the car? They must have something ingenious inside that car to get everything cool. And I don't know. They might have some cooling issues, but we don't know. It's interesting. It's definitely a really really cool looking design, though. The only thing that could potentially catch them out is the predefined side pod area has to come out from the car 200 mil or 20 centimeters. Now, most people, or pretty much every team for the longest period of time, have interpreted this to come out at a perpendicular angle, at a 90-degree angle from the crash structure. So it extends outwards towards the tyre, 200 mil or 20 centimeters. However, what Mercedes have done is they've rotated this so it's now parallel with the crash structure. If you take a look at the side pod, theirs is tall and long and really narrow. It's still 200 mil, but it's the other way. So that's about the only thing that could get them like a little hiccup, along with the aero fins on top of the crash structure as well, as that was something that I think Christian Horner potentially pointed out yesterday, which Red Bull then tried to sweep under the rug. Is this test also behind closed doors? No, this one is televised. It is all live on Sky Sports F1 and F1 TV as well. Will Williams fight for Q3 this year? Oh, blimey, I hope so. It would be really good. It would be really good to see that. I'd very much like to see them fighting a little bit higher up than they were last year, as we've still got Valtteri Bottas pounding around in his brand new Alfa Romeo. What do you think about Alpine? Alpine. I feel like they've had a very sort of average test so far. They've done nothing underwhelming and they've done nothing overwhelming. They've just sort of flown at the minute. That's it. That's all I think about Alpine at the time being. They've just sort of flown under the radar. Also, did you like the Red Bull side pods? Thanks for answering my questions. No problem. That's what I'm here to do, answer questions and talk about what's going on. As we're currently looking at Sebastian Vettel about to hop into his Aston Martin to get some running in. Now, the Red Bull side pods, they were equally just as intriguing when they finally released the car in Barcelona with that enormous undercut underneath. Now, a lot of teams have significant undercuts, but nowhere near as significant as Red Bull. Again, what the exact aerodynamic properties of this are going to be, who knows? We don't really know. Oh, what do you think about Alfa Romeo? Now, that's a bit more of a difficult one because traditionally, if you look back at 2021, 2020 testing, Alfa Romeo usually pop up quite high in the testing times, along with AlphaTauri. And then come the race, they actually end up slipping down a little bit. So it's going to be really difficult to judge where they are, but they've had an enormous amount of issues today, or not today even, in Barcelona especially. And they made up for a lot of ground yesterday, but I feel like they're already on the back foot, much like Haas, especially Haas, actually. They're already on the back foot. What's up with some drivers already running some laps whilst the morning session has yet to start? The morning session has started. It started 16 minutes ago. We've currently got 3 hours, 44 minutes, and 35 seconds left on the clock. We've got George Russell in the Mercedes still pounding around at the minute with his aero rakes on. We've only got 3 lap times set at the minute, as a couple of drivers have set installation laps, Valtteri Bottas and Max Verstappen. Everybody else has stayed in the garage. Will we see Daniel Ricciardo today? Good question. I'm not convinced I will see Daniel Ricciardo in the car. I think it's Lando Norris at the moment, but I'm not sure if Ricciardo is feeling any better today, unfortunately. Oh, I think Ferrari will get in the middle of the fight between Mercedes and Red Bull this year. Maybe Leclerc will even fight for the title. That's an interesting topic. That's really good. That's assuming that Mercedes and Red Bull are going to be the benchmark, which it sort of looks like it could be, but I wouldn't be surprised if Ferrari come out as the outright pace benchmark come Bahrain in a week's time. But who knows? It would be really good to see them back up there, especially McLaren as well. I would really like to see McLaren, someone other than Mercedes, Ferrari, or Red Bull, who have been at the top of the sport for the past bajillion million years. How to view from India? Is it on F1 TV in India? I can actually have a little look see for you. I can do some Googling. How to watch. Because I know F1 TV isn't always available in all of the countries. So it says F1 TV you should be able to as well. So F1 TV or Disney Plus, Disney Plus Hotstar, apparently. Oh, yes, yeah, we'll have to actually change that. It says the morning session starts in 3 hours and 44 minutes, whereas that's the time left on the session. I'm sure we can get that graphic changed, actually. Thank you for pointing that out in the comments there. Yes, it does say morning session starts in 3 hours and such time. Note that should say time left in the morning session or something along those lines. So yes, that little text is wrong. We've been running for 18 minutes at the moment. We'll get that changed. Me and my family are watching here in Brazil. Very good transmission. Thank you very much. And you're all Williams fans here. Oh, awesome. How do you feel about Williams actually seeming much better than they have done in all of their previous years? At the time being, they actually seem relatively competitive, especially Alex Albon in that car. They look decent. Oh, we've got the pink Alpine. They're actually running the pink Alpine. I don't like it. I don't like the pink Alpine. Um, yeah, they've got the pink one. They've got the pink one today. That's interesting because I think they're running the pink one for what, 2 races? 2 races, I think, for Bahrain and Saudi. I think is round number two for this year. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like the pink. I exactly. It just looks like a racing point. It looks like a racing point. The pink Alpine is ugly. Exactly. Yeah, I just don't like it. Just don't like it at all. How can you watch the F1 in Vietnam? Oh, that's also another question. Let me just change this search to that and enter. I would imagine it's going to be much the same on F1 TV or any local sports something. So yes, it says F1 TV here according to Google or any of your local sports pages or things like that. The Alpine livery looks okay. See, okay isn't like a good word, but it's not like a bad word. Whereas I just don't really like the pink. I like it how it was with a tiny bit of pink, not majority pink at the minute. Oh, I'm from Australia. My favorite drivers used to be Mark Webber and Sebastian Vettel in RB. However, now it's Ricardo and Max and Sergio, three drivers, also all Red Bull. So you must be a bit of a Red Bull fan, I guess, there. If all of those drivers have driven for Red Bull at the minute, with Max and Sergio currently there as well. Oh, what's my favorite livery so far? Favorite livery? I personally, now I know it's not everyone's favorite, but I quite like the Williams, mainly because I really like that deep blue. Just that deep blue is really, really nice. Other liveries, Aston Martin. Aston Martin is nice. I'm glad they've got rid of the pink. the pink little lines that they had. Alfa Romeo, now that we've finally seen their livery, that one is lovely as well. And that's, yeah, I would say they're my top three liveries. Williams, Aston Martin, and Alfa Romeo. Almost forgot what I said. As Leclerc is on track, Leclerc is indeed on track at the minute, as we're again witnessing some of the porpoising issues still with all of the cars. I feel it's just going to be a thing that exists all of the time. We just have to find a way of reducing it an awful lot, because there's no way the drivers are going to be comfortable racing for an hour and a half, having this constantly. It's not going to be fun. It's not going to be enjoyable one bit at all. As we have just passed 100 likes on the stream, that is absolutely mega. Thank you guys so much for the support on the stream. As we've got 700 people watching at the minute, the road to 1,000 concurrent viewers, that is absolutely mega. Welcome to the stream then, guys, for all of those who haven't yet heard any of this. My name is Alex from the channel Alex Does F1 Stuff, and I'll be commentating for the majority of today, the second day of the pre-season test. If you've got any questions, please leave them in the live chat down below, and I will do my best to answer it. I'm currently watching the testing action unfold, so if anything interesting happens, I will definitely let you know. We've still currently got 3 lap times set at the minute: Lando Norris, George Russell, and Yuki Tsunoda. But Charles Leclerc is on a lap. It's not quick, but he's on a lap. Who do you think will have the fastest car? Now, personally, from what we've seen so far, Ferrari. They've just seemed to have the best test so far in just all aspects. They've got a quick car, they have a stable car, they have a clean car. It looks comfortable to drive. The porpoising isn't too bad. I'd say Ferrari, personally. That's where my money is leaning towards right now, as Leclerc actually goes P2, 8.5 tenths down on Lando Norris, but we're nowhere near setting any quick lap times at the minute, because we're in the 138s, whereas yesterday we were in the 133s. So yeah, I don't think we're going to see any quick times in this first hour or so of the test. They'll sort of come in the latter stages, as we see George Russell again locking up into turn 10. That Mercedes really doesn't look comfortable to drive. It really doesn't. Yeah, it looks like it looks an awful. Struggling with words. It looks like an awful handful to drive, that Mercedes. As Sebastian Vettel has also set a lap time relatively slow, but everyone has been relatively slow so far. Are you British? Yes, I am British. I am from the United Kingdom. It is nice and early here in the UK, 7:24 in the morning. Nice lap for Charles Leclerc. Yeah, it was a clean lap. It was a clean, steady lap. It was quite slow, 1:39.3, but it is first thing in the morning. There's going to be very little rubber down on the track. It's relatively cooler conditions than what we're used to, and they're also just not running the quick, speedy tires, and they're probably fully loaded with fuel as well, as we're about 5 seconds down on the test times of yesterday, and then we're a full 10 seconds down, 9-10 seconds down on the test or on the qualifying times of last year. So it's still a bit slow this morning so far. Some teams don't want to show their full power, like Mercedes, Red Bull, or McLaren, and the real power will be in qualifying. Exactly that. Again, I imagine no one is going to be running full engine modes at all. Potentially, the only time we will see it is in the last 2 hours or so of tomorrow's session, of the last test session. We will see some quick laps be put in where people put up the engine modes, because then it would just make sense. It would just make sense. You don't want to. Ooh, Leclerc almost lost it. A big step of oversteer there. Yeah, I would imagine a lot of people are going to turn up their engines tomorrow afternoon rather than today, because then you're showing everyone what you've got just as the testing finishes, so they know where it's going to be in Bahrain in a week's time. Ferrari has the best livery, in my opinion. I don't get this. Ferrari is just red. They never do anything with it. It's red. it's like Red Bull. It's the same livery every year. So it's always at the bottom of my pile because nothing happens with it. The Ferrari car, if we just look at the car, as Esteban Ocon in the Alpine sets a quick lap, a 1:36.4, still a bit slow. Still a bit slow on what we've had yesterday, but the quickest time by far of today's session, 3 seconds quicker than Charles Leclerc at the minute. Which teams still have their cars shaking? Everybody. It's an issue all around the board for everybody. The teams that are suffering from it badly, Mercedes, AlphaTauri, I think they said Red Bull as well, but it is an issue that everybody is facing. It's just some teams are facing it worse than others. I do agree that the Red Bull livery is bland, but it's for the brand. Exactly. Like I get it. I get that it has to be that. They have very little like freedom in what they can do. I just wish they did something else. You know, I just wish it changed slightly. It's like Mercedes, but at least they've been black for 2 years. So I suppose that's a little bit of a significant change. Yeah, I just wish something different happened. And yes, the Alpine is fully pink today. They are preparing and getting ready for their first 2 races where it will be fully pink in Bahrain and Saudi Arabia before going back to being blue with a teeny bit of pink. Have you guys heard that Haas have requested for extra testing days is not accepted? So that's not entirely correct. So yes, they requested for an extra day to catch up for the 4 hours that they missed yesterday morning. That wasn't accepted. But what has been is over these next 2 days, they've been given extra time in the afternoon session. So only Haas have been given some extra time in the afternoon sessions to catch up on the time that they missed for the morning session, which is really good. They need that, and they need to utilize that extra time that they've been given. So they will have the same total testing time. It's just in the afternoon we'll only see a Haas car out. I doubt it'll be televised because it's only going to be Haas at the minute. Gusty and a sandstorm coming in. Oh no. Is there actually a sandstorm on its way? Didn't we have that last year? I think the track was extremely dusty last year. The AlphaTauri is the best livery. Uh, I, I like the AlphaTauri colors, just not so much what they've done with it. Not the sandstorms coming in. I'm gonna have to check the Bahrain weather, aren't I? Bahrain International. What's this circuit called actually? Bahrain. Bahrain Secure Circuit weather. Here we go. So sunny. Obviously, it's going to be sunny. I want to know what other things are happening. Stupid cookie pop-ups. Go away. Sunny. Just says sunny. It's not overly helpful. I knew it was going to be sunny. It's not like going to be raining, is it? Sakir. Yes, Grand Prix circuit is Sakir. Thank you very much, everybody. The Ferrari looks heavy on fuel. I'd imagine lots of cars are heavy on fuel. And my God, that Alpine looks disgusting in pink. I do not like that. I do not like that one bit. Is there a sand? Oh, yeah, that's what I should Google, isn't it? Is there a sandstorm coming in Sakir? Sandstorm, that's last year. Sandstorm. Weather forecast for this. I agree. Oh, that's a lot of complicated arrows and stuff. Ugh. Oh, so yes, there's strong winds. There are strong winds heading to the circuit today. There's a 90% chance of 30-mile-an-hour winds picking up today, which is definitely going to carry some sand. Whether that's going to be a sandstorm or not, I don't know. But there is a very high chance of relatively strong winds, 30 mile an hour winds coming to the circuit. As for what direction that's going to be, I have no idea. I might be able to check on my F1 TV subscription, actually. How do I log in? See, it's things like this that I should have already had set up, really, isn't it? I should have already had this up before I started. What other questions have we got? Where can we watch it for ourselves? So F1 TV or also Sky Sports if you're in the UK. But F1 TV usually has it for everybody everywhere. Alpine is porpoising. Yes, the Alpine does porpoise quite a lot, quite significantly at the minute. So they might stop testing for a while if a sandstorm. It depends how bad the sandstorm is, because remember last year there was an awful lot of sand all across the circuit, and it was just really dusty with lots of drivers going off and having incidents. So it's possible, but I doubt it. It depends on how bad it is. What do you think about the Renault engine? Renault engine. I don't know. It goes fast. That's about all I can chip in for that one. Can you screen share? Unfortunately not. Otherwise, we would get instantly taken down for copyright issues. So that's not a thing that I can do, sadly. I can only commentate on what I am looking at the moment, which is currently a yucky looking pink car. I've said this a lot. I don't like it. Ocon is pushing before the sandstorm. He's definitely going the quickest of everybody so far, a 1:36.4, but I'd hardly call it pushing, like pushing a lot, because we're still 3 seconds down on yesterday's times, but we're only 35 minutes into this session, so there's still a long way to go. There's still 7.5 hours of testing today still to go. Alpine looks like Peppa Pig. I like that. I like that a lot. According to F1, Mercedes has the fastest race sim. Ooh, interesting. Where did we see that then? Where was that? Where did that pop up? I'd like to read that article or have a look at that. Alex, question: biggest/worst team improvements? Oh, okay. So the biggest improvements. Who have we seen biggest improvements from? I would say Williams or Alfa Romeo at the moment. So yes, Alfa Romeo had a really poor start to testing in Barcelona, but they've sort of turned it around. We've got Ocon going really slowly. We've got Ocon going very slowly. I think he's just sort of doing a cool down, charging his batteries and stuff. Back to my train of thought. So I would say Williams is the most improved so far, and the least turning it around, the worst improvements. Aston Martin. So Williams for the best, Aston Martin for the worst. They've definitely gone a bit downhill. Do you think Emerson Fittipaldi was a better driver than Pietro Fittipaldi? Yes. Simple. Done. Have you wondered how Mercedes upgrades were leaked at the first place? Anyone? So they have what? They've got, I think it's like 1,200 people working at Brackley, where the wind tunnel is, where the model physically is. Then they've got another 1,000 people working at Brixworth, where the engine is made. So each one of those people has a family that they obviously talk to about the cars. They have access to all of the imagery and the wind tunnel and stuff. So it's gonna instantly get out to one of those people. If they each have a family of like 3 or 4, that's an extra 4,000 people that know, and then it just gets leaked onto that. So yeah, that's how leaks happen in the first place. It just takes one person to show it to someone else, and then it gets out. Headwind, tailwind, crosswind. Very windy today. Yes, that's all of the winds. It is windy. I spent a little bit of time finding all of that weather forecast information, that there's about 30-mile-an-hour winds, 90% chance for most of the day. The Aston Martin looks so unstable. It does. It looks horrible to drive, much like the 2014 Ferrari. Mercedes illegal mirror. Really? You think their mirror is illegal? Where else are they supposed to put it? I know it's properly mounted on the crash structure, but that's literally the only place they can put it because they have no side pod. So I wouldn't say it's illegal unless you count some of the little winglets that they've got mounted onto the crash structure. Oh, pardon me for the little belch. But they've got a couple of winglets, I think 4 or 5 vertical sticky up bits underneath the mirror attached to the crash structure itself. That could potentially be a bit of a grey area. I'm not 100% sure. Ocon on a flying lap. I don't know when that message may have come a bit late because he's just done a 36.8 with his best time being a 36.4 at the minute. Haas can beat Aston Martin this year. Absolutely. I would not be surprised if Aston Martin is the backmarker team. I wouldn't be surprised because Aston Martin doesn't look very good this year. It's a big shame, but it doesn't look very good this year at all. Can I watch on ESPN? I think so. I would imagine you can. Let's have a look. Can you watch F1 testing on ESPN? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Is F1 live on ESPN? Yes, it is. There you go. Yes, it is. Another question / prediction for you. Will there be a driver ban from penalty points or not by other means? I don't know. We've had penalty points now for what, 5 years or so, since I think it was 2015 or something. Oh, as Tsunoda goes wide at turn 10 as he avoids that massive sausage curb. We've had penalty points for about 5 years or so, and nothing has happened as a result of that. So I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. You can also watch F1 on DAZN. Can you? Can you really? Huh, I did not know that. That's interesting. Where else are we up to? Sticky uppy bits, exactly like Sam Collins, great presenter. Yeah, Sam Collins is great. I like Sam Collins, and he does use sticky uppy bits because like I don't. What else do you call them? What else are they? They're bits that stick up. They're sticky uppy bits. Simple. Mercedes has the worst porpoising yesterday. Agreed. Mercedes have I wouldn't say it's the most aggressive porpoising. It's the longest period of porpoising. So theirs start a lot sooner than everybody else's. I'd say the most violent one was Pierre Gasly in the AlphaTauri, bouncing up and down. It looked like his head was about to fall off. But Mercedes definitely lasted for longer and started earlier than everybody else. So yes, in that respect, Mercedes does have it bad, but AlphaTauri have it physically worse. It looks like an extremely uncomfortable ride at the minute. I can now picture that you sound like Sam Collins. Do I really sound like Sam Collins? I don't believe I sound like Sam Collins. Really? I don't think so. I know we're both British, but I don't think I sound like Sam Collins at all. Yes, it is Tsunoda today in the AlphaTauri, but it was Gasly yesterday, who, when he set his fast lap, his head was, it literally looked like his head was about to fly off with his helmet. If you look at it, I think it was the helmet cam that points backwards from the steering wheel. And oh my God, it was bouncing up and down ridiculously. His neck is going to hurt so bad for that. I wouldn't be surprised if the porpoising will cost teams a lot of money. Yes, it probably will. It probably will, because it can't do the underfloor that much good at all. Be it whacking the ground like that, so repeatedly, so much. They're going to do a lot of, considering how intricate the underfloors of these cars are. Now it's going to cause a lot of damage. Does Mercedes have mobile side pods? Mobile side pods, like movable? No, but small, yes, very small, very small. Teams have two cars or just one. So each team has two cars, but in testing, they're only allowed to run one car. So in the morning session and in the afternoon session, we will only see one car from each team on the track at any one time. But at the end of the day, if teams are running two or both drivers, because the teams can decide to run two drivers, one morning, one afternoon, or one driver for the whole session, morning and afternoon, we can see 16 total cars out on the track at the moment. Any update on the Red Bull? Nope, there hasn't been any update on the Red Bull at all. I do have the stream open, but I've got it very quiet for the time being. So I don't know if there's been any talk about Red Bull or not. I know they have a bunch of tape all over their car. So they've got a whole bunch of tape covering all of the seams, as we saw yesterday when Perez spun. The car looked like it was crying, essentially. Red Bull update. Yes, I think I just gave that about the Red Bull. I personally haven't heard anything. I can check Twitter to see if there is anything regarding Red Bull. Perez spun yesterday. So he spun and lost control of the car, and it got beached, and then his car was like leaking. You could see out the different seams of the car. Like fluid was coming out around the engine cover. So today we've seen Max Verstappen running out on track, and he's had sections of tape all over the seams of the car, bright silver tape going around at the minute. Where other questions are we up to? How legal is the Mercedes side mirror? Now, this is a good topic of conversation. I am not sure. So it's probably 100% legal because they that like with DAS they would have talked because it's such an extreme design that they've gone for, exactly like DAS would have been. They would have talked and communicated with the FIA exactly like they did with DAS in 2020. So I wouldn't be surprised if it is like it's going to be legal, but I also wouldn't be surprised if we see protests for clarifications from other teams, as we've already seen Horner get a little bit Horner at the moment. What is wrong with Danny Rick? Danny Rick is ill. He's ill for the time being. He was supposed to run today because he missed yesterday, but yeah, he's ill at the minute. Uh, oh, what is this? I've just gone onto Twitter at the minute, and it appears someone has managed to get a very close-up shot of the internals of the Mercedes. So this is right where they've covered up with tape some of those cooling louvers, and inside you can actually see a little well, I don't know what it is. It's a little thing moving left to right, like a full mechanical arm inside it moving left to right. That's really interesting. I'm gonna have to save that. That is very interesting. How do I save tweets? Bookmark. Done. So if you want to go see that, that's from the Engine Mode 11 person on Twitter. I think he's got like 25,000 followers or something like that. There's just a short little GIF of this little mechanical arm moving left to right on the Mercedes within the bodywork. That's really impressive. So Red Bull have currently got aero sensors pretty much everywhere on the car, and just a whole bunch of tape sticking everything up. I'm trying to find out actual information regarding Red Bull, but I don't think there is anything for the time being. Okay, where are we up to at the minute? We've currently still only got 6 lap times set for the time being. I've got about 14 minutes left before I'm going to take a break for the morning session and come back in the afternoon. But current order is Esteban Ocon, 1:36.4, then Yuki Tsunoda, 1.4 seconds down, Charles Leclerc, 1.5 seconds exactly down on that. Then Lando Norris in the McLaren, P4, 2 seconds down, Sebastian Vettel, 2.4, and then George Russell, 3 seconds. So far, pretty much all of these teams, bar Esteban Ocon, have had the aero brakes on the car and done sort of slow installation setup sort of laps. And those Mercedes engineers are making some alien car. Yes, they really are. That I've never seen anything like that to have something like move mechanically like that within the internals of the car. That's really interesting. Oh, okay, so apparently it's actually oh, how the heck do I say that word? An anem I'm gonna pop that in the chat and then people can work out how to say this. An anem 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 that word. It's one of those. I've just popped it in the chat. I can't say that at all. It's used to measure airflow apparently, so it's one of those little fan blades moving left to right. And yeah, I can't say that. My brain won't let me say that. Yeah, it's for measuring and then nope. I'm not gonna give up. I'm gonna give up with that. And no, I still can't do it. Yeah, people are breaking it up for me, but I still can't. An an animometer. No, that sounds completely wrong. Anemometer. 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 Is that right? Okay, I think I'm going to give up with that. I'll take a hard pass on that, saying that again. So close, yeah. I think that's as close as I'm going to get. I can't do it. I can't do it at all. As we've got 969 viewers so far on the stream, 193 likes, so close to 200 at the moment. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button to Racing Statistics, hit the like button, and also share the stream, as it would be really good for us to get this sort of out there and get everybody involved with us, as we have Max Verstappen out on track at the moment for this, the second day of the official preseason test at Bahrain. And Verstappen has set a very slow lap time, a very slow lap time. It's 29 seconds down on everybody, but I'd imagine that's just a small setup lap at the time being. As I've got about 10 or so minutes, just over 10 minutes left of the hour that I'll be commentating for this morning, and then I'll be back in the afternoon. Welcome, welcome all that are new to this session. Welcome, welcome. Ocon is currently P1. Yes, he is, but the lap time is still about 3 seconds slower than what we saw just yesterday. Ooh, almost at 1,000. Oh, there we go. There we go. 1,000 viewers, 1,000 viewers and 200 likes. That is absolutely mega, guys. Thank you very much. And welcome one and all to this live stream here. My name is Alex from the channel Alex Does F1 Stuff, and I'll be your commentator for the majority of today. I've got about 10 or so minutes left of this morning session that I'll be commentating on, where I'll be then taking a small little break for the morning session and coming back in the afternoon. If you've got any questions, please leave them in the live chat and I'll do my very best to answer them, as well as commentate on the action that is going on track, as Max Verstappen goes P2 with a purple sector 1 and 2 green sectors 2 and 3. As he goes P2, 4 tenths down on Esteban Ocon, but these lap times so far at the time being are around 3 seconds slower than what we saw yesterday. What happened with Schumacher's Sector 1 time? Sector 1 time for Mick Schumacher. Where are we looking? Don't know. Disappeared. Doesn't exist. He's obviously taken a bit of a shortcut. He's taken an ultra shortcut in Mario Kart, skipped out the sector timing beams, and jumped straight to Sector 2. That's exactly what he's done. Hope that sort of sums it up there for you. Max is pushing. I wouldn't really say Max is pushing. It's been a very slow morning so far. There hasn't really been anything happening this hour that we've been on, as we're getting the Super Max come through into the chat, which is lovely. For the time being, we've got a 1:36.4 is the fastest time from Esteban Ocon, and then Verstappen a 1:36.9 for the time being. These times are about 3 seconds slower than what we saw yesterday. The times are dropping. The times haven't really been dropping though. They've been. It's been a 1:36 for the past half an hour or so when Esteban Ocon set that lap time. You think this session is going to be interesting? Yes, because like anything could happen, but I feel it's going to get more interesting in the afternoon, as that's usually when more run plans sort of get more into shape in the afternoon. There's going to be more things going on in the afternoon. I've just showed up. Did any of the cars have any changes that are noticeable? So not yet. I've heard that Red Bull was supposed to be bringing updates to today, and they said they were going to be noticeably different, but I haven't seen any of them. So I follow a couple of people on Twitter that are very up to date with this, with detailed pictures and analysis, and they haven't noticed anything different yet. Whereas Red Bull said that they were bringing an update package to day 2 and day 3, whether it's two different update packages or one update package for day 1 or day 3 or day 2, day 3. Yeah, I personally haven't seen anything yet. So someone's just said it would be day 2 or day 3, because I haven't seen anything yet other than them putting a whole bunch of silver tape everywhere all over their car to stop it from crying again. Whoever got it right with the regulations will win this year. I feel like that's an extremely obvious statement to make. So yes, whoever gets the regulations correct will win, exactly like Mercedes did in 2014 with the engine regulations. Still only 10 laps. Who's done 10 laps? Well, yeah, it's been a very slow morning so far. There lots of aero rakes on cars, lots of slow installation laps, and all sorts. It's definitely been a very slow start to the morning. Why is McLaren struggling with sponsors? McLaren struggling with sponsors? Why would they be struggling with sponsors? We're actually looking at the underfloor of the McLaren through their brakes. That looks very intricate. I wouldn't say McLaren are so much struggling with sponsors. I don't think. Does the Ferrari power unit have a split turbo this year? Yes. No. Renault do. Renault have a split power unit for the first time. I think I thought Ferrari have had that for a while. The split turbo. But oh no, I thought it was a spin for Schumacher. It is not. What did he do? Oh, we had a huge lockup though for Schumacher. Massive lockup. Massive lockup down into turn 1 for Schumacher. Question: who do you think will win this year's Drivers' Championship and Constructors' Championship? So I think it's going to be, from what I've seen so far, as Verstappen just goes straight on. He doesn't make turn 1 whatsoever. A teeny lockup and then goes straight on at turn 1. But constructors, I think Ferrari at the moment, from what we've seen, they've seemed to have the most stable test. They've seemed to have a really quick car. The car looks under control and calm and clean, unlike all the other cars that we've seen so far. So I would say Ferrari. And as for drivers, I don't know. I just don't know. It's going to be really difficult to say. Are the Mercs still keeping their podless structure, or have they changed the structure again? They are still very minimal side pods. They're not entirely side podless, as you physically have to have a 200 mil entry point, which is about 20 centimeters wide gap from the side of the monocoque structure extending outwards. You have to have a 200 mil opening. So they do have side pods. They are just as small as they could possibly be. Teams are still working on the porpoising issues. Yes, they are. Every single team has their porpoising issues, and every single team will be working on little ways of getting around that at the time being. Most teams have got very rigid floor stays, what are called floor stays, that they attach themselves to the rear of the car, to the floor, to minimize the flex of the rear floor, so it stops the rear of the floor creating the skirt for the ground effect, so it stops it from hitting the floor. It just means the ground effect is less. So it's a really big trade-off. You've got to either stop the ground effect, so your car isn't going to be as quick, but you stop the porpoising completely. So it's interesting. As we got we had Ocon go purple in sector 1, but we've now got Leclerc going purple in sector 1. Here we go. Ocon purple sector 2, 8/10 up at the minute. Where are we going to see Charles Leclerc go? So Esteban Ocon is coming down the back straight at the minute, breaking down into the final corner. What's this lap time going to be? This might just be a low 135, you know. But what's Leclerc going to do, actually? So Esteban Ocon comes down the line. Leclerc 1.6 seconds up in sector 2. Esteban Ocon doesn't improve. Doesn't improve, or does improve. Did he improve? I thought he had a really bad sector 3. But Leclerc is rapid at the minute. Leclerc is 1.6 seconds up in sector 2. And he crosses the line and does a 134.3. Okay, the timing tower on the screen is really slow at the minute. The timing tower on the Sky broadcast is a bit slow. Leclerc has just done a 134.3. Now that's more like it. That is more like what we were expecting to see time-wise. As yes, this vertical timing tower on my live feed needs to hurry up and update because it hasn't yet. That was a quick lap from Charles Leclerc. That's a very quick lap. A 134.366. That's impressive. Still a second down on what we saw yesterday, but that's a very quick lap time. It's a very quick lap time. But yes, ultimately, times do mean nothing in testing. This is very true because we don't know engine modes, we don't know fuel loads, we know tires. That's about the only thing we do know with testing is the tires that they're on, and that's it. Does anybody know with F1 TV in the UK how I can get the live like telemetry, or not telemetry data, but the what's it called, sector times and stuff, because I know that exists. I can't find it on my F1 TV page. I don't know if I'm just being an idiot. I'll probably have a look whilst I take my break in just a couple of minutes' time, as it's coming up to my first hour here commentating on this, the second day of pre-season testing in Barcelona. I will be taking a little break for these 3 hours of the morning session at the moment, and then I'll be coming back in the afternoon to commentate for 3 hours of the 4 hours in the afternoon session. I will just answer a couple more questions before I go for my little break at the moment. So what happens when there is no side pods? Basically, less drag all over the car. There is significantly less drag as the car is super, super slim and super, super streamlined. However, the downside is the cooling. However, we absolutely do not know what is on the interior of the Mercedes. So they could have a completely revolutionary new way of cooling the car, but we have no idea unless their engine cover flies off and we see something. And then one more question before I disappear. Which one shall I choose if there is one? The Merc is porpoising and scratching the track. Yes, it is. Most of the cars, or pretty much all of the cars, are still porpoising and definitely scratching the track. But equally, it's going to be doing much more damage to the underside of their car. Now, the flaws on the underside of their cars this year are critical. That is where all their downforce is generated. So to be whacking the track like they are, it's really, really not good for the car whatsoever. And that is it. That is going to be me wrapping up for this first hour of the morning session. I'm going to be taking a little break, so there won't be any commentary for this 3 hours left of the morning session, but I will be returning for the afternoon session when that starts in about 4 hours time. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will be back in just a moment's time.